my stomach is also trying to have some stories. She was also the... I'm not sure if it's wise to say her name. Maybe she would not prefer it. I'm not sure. She was also... She used to also be an au pair in Norway. We talked about that when we were walking towards the tram station. And we just shared how it feels like to... Yeah, the routines of being an au pair, the dinners with the host families. And she said something that's so striking to me when she said she missed the feeling when someone welcomes you when you return and says your name. Like, "Ah!" I would use my name. Dominic! Or something like this. When, for example, you were out for the weekend or you just went somewhere and one of the children, they see you and, Dominic, I have something to show you. And she said this and I'm like, that's true. There's something about someone saying your name so in such an endearing way and so joyful and excited about it, and they say it and they run toward you and you run toward them. I haven't had my name said with such enthusiasm, I think, after being an au pair. Yeah, I don't think. When I visit my host family, that's the only time when I see the kids again. Dominic! And some... But yeah, I have forgotten about it. How happy it makes me. I have forgotten. And she said this, of course, she used her own name when she said, yes. And I was so surprised because it's not often that people talk about the things that they miss. It's not very often. And we got to speak about other things, for example, where she came from before she was in Europe. And she said she was in the Middle East. She worked as a domestic helper there. And it's something very common that happens. Because in the Philippines, there are recruitment agencies exclusively for this. People work in the Middle East and a lot of jobs, and one of them is domestic helper, sort of. And she shared also how she got lucky with her boss. And this is something that we have in common, the luck with people. Both of us, we are very lucky with the people that we met. For example, she was also expressing how lucky she was with her host family, and I'm doing the same thing because both of us also have heard stories that are scary or made us aware how lucky we are still. And yeah, she said she was in the Middle East before, that she worked as a domestic helper. And I was just listening to her stories. And I got the chance to eventually express how I feel towards, because I said to her, sometimes I think about we call them kababayans, our kababayans in the Middle East who are working as domestic helpers. Kababayans meaning the people who were born in the same country as you. I forgot the term in English. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes I think about them because these are the people who leave their kids, their brothers, their mothers, their sisters, their fathers, their family behind to work and have a better chance of surviving both themselves and their families. And sometimes it's such a strange concept where a lot of us, because I compare the difference between where I was born and where I am now, and how different it is with the ways of thinking of the people or how they live their lives. And one of the examples is that here, for example, in Finland, when you leave your country or seek out an opportunity outside of your country, it's because you want to. Of course, this is not 100%, but a lot of what I see, if you leave your country, it's because you're attracted to something, to what's beyond. You're seeking for adventure, maybe, or maybe the salary is a bit higher. I've also heard that in some perspective. But in the Philippines, when you leave your country, sometimes you don't have a choice. A lot of the times, you leave because you have to. Because sometimes, it's either you leave or you starve the family. And when you go abroad, and you send the abroad money in the Philippines, it's big money. So that the family can live and have a better chance of thriving or moving forward or getting an education. A huge percentage of the people who leave our country, it's because they feel that this is the only way that we can have a future that is brighter, or bright, or have a light. This is the only way that we can have a future that has a sun on it. And I just like because here in Finland, there's opportunity. Even if you don't leave your own country, there's opportunity here. You're not gonna starve in the streets, or but yeah, there's a lot more to unpack there, but let's go walk back again to the original point.